What's up guys, Sean here, and today we're going to talk about the Navajo Code Talkers, President Donald Trump, Elizabeth Warren, and the media freaking out as usual. For those of you who don't know, the United States during World War II, specifically in the Pacific Theater, used the Navajo Code Talkers to send key strategic messages between the soldiers. Now, the reason the Navajo were recruited during World War II is because their code was incredibly difficult to crack. And when you're fighting a world war, it's invaluable that your messages can't be cracked even if they're intercepted by the enemy. The United States had that during World War II, and they had it because of these Navajo Code Talkers. So President Trump was at an event set to honor these people for their contribution to the war. I have no clue whether or not the United States could have won World War II without them, but considering the United States was essentially alone when engaging with Japan, this definitely saved a shit ton of American lives, and these people should be honored because they are heroes. Now, unfortunately, President Donald Trump didn't do any of the research that I did to have a nice intro for the fucking opening of this video. And he decided to do this.
Here long before any of us were here, although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas. But you know what? I like you. They call her Pocahontas. But you know what? I like you.
Oh my god, that's one of the greatest clips of all time. I mean, let's be real. That's a really dumb thing for the president to say. You're trying to honor the fucking heroes of World War II, and you throw in a jab at Elizabeth Warren. No need for it, but it's hilarious. Reportedly, there were people in the room that had to look away from the Code Talkers because they were trying to shield their laughter because they were so shocked that he did that. And at this point, can you really be shocked that President Trump says something silly or buffoonish? I mean, the dude's basically the class clown. You know he's going to say something absurd, so you might as well just laugh and move on. Now, of course, the media couldn't have left it where it was. It was an inappropriate joke that the president made that actually makes him look really dumb, as long as you don't go crazy over it. But it's current year, so that means everything needs to be on racism, DEFCON level 17, all the fucking time.
Senator, do you have any response to that?
You know, this was supposed to be an event to honor heroes, people who put it all on the line for our country, and people who, because of their incredible work, saved the lives of countless Americans and our allies. It is deeply unfortunate that the President of the United States cannot even make it through a ceremony honoring these heroes without having to throw out a racial slur.
How is it a racial slur? You, Elizabeth Warren, are the one who pretended to be an American Indian. For those of you who don't know, the joke about Elizabeth Warren being Pocahontas comes from two places. One, Elizabeth Warren submitted a recipe to a Native American cookbook. The traditional Native American cuisine recipe that she submitted was crab bisque. No, I'm not fucking kidding. She literally submitted a recipe for crab bisque. Because, you know, for hundreds and hundreds of years, and what is now the state of Oklahoma, natives roamed the plains with their bow and arrows and their fucking tomahawks, and they hunted crab to make crab bisque. That's literally the recipe she submitted as a traditional Native American recipe. It also comes from her bio at Harvard University. Back when Elizabeth Warren was applying to work at Harvard University, they were doing a lot of affirmative action hiring. So Elizabeth Warren filled out that she was a Native American on that form. Now, Elizabeth Warren denies this and says she never put down that she was Native American on her job application, but everything in the professor bio, according to Harvard University, comes from the professor. There's no reason for a random staff member at Harvard to assume Elizabeth Warren, the whitest person on planet Earth, is Native American. And the idea that that happened to end up on her bio while she's coincidentally talking about the family lore that she is part Native American all the fucking time, every fucking chance that she gets, is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, Elizabeth Warren has been faking being a Native American. Here's a video of her citing her mother's cheekbones and the family lore as the reason why she believes she's a Native American.
Warren says her great-great-great-grandmother is Cherokee, but genealogists have yet to confirm that. Warren referenced a photo of her grandfather on her mantle as part of the family lore.
My Aunt Bee has walked by that picture at least 1,000 times, remarked that her father, my papa, had high cheekbones like all of the Indians do, because that's how she saw it. And she said, and your mother got those same great cheekbones, and I didn't. She thought this was the bad deal she had gotten in life. Being Native American has been part of my story, I guess, since the day I was born.
I just want to pause for a second and point out that if President Trump would have said that Native Americans are defined by their strong cheekbones, people would be losing their minds saying that he is racially stereotyping Native Americans. But Elizabeth Warren can tell stories about how her mother had strong cheekbones, therefore she's Native American, and that's perfectly fine.
Had high cheekbones like all of the Indians do. Like all of the Indians do. Like all of the Indians do.
Now I know what you guys might be thinking. People can essentially prove their Native American heritage by doing a genealogy test, which basically is a DNA test that traces your blood back to a Native American tribe. Of course, Elizabeth Warren doesn't do that. She just talks about the lore in her family, the myths in her family that she's a Native American. It's actually amazing how many people on the left try to gloss over this. The woman clearly is faking being a Native American. It's just a fact.
And maybe there's no proof of it, but that she is indeed 1/32nd Cherokee. What say you?
No, she's not. I've looked at her documentation. I've looked at her family papers. There's nothing to indicate she's Cherokee. Her family is found nowhere among Cherokee records.
You say in your open letter, quote, "We Cherokees have lots and lots of documentation supporting our claims of ancestry." Is that the case?
For Cherokees?
Yes.
Yes. There is, from the Miller Roll, which was 1907 to 1914, going all the way back to before the Trail of Tears, Cherokees are recorded, and we can trace our families.
But despite these clear, objective facts, here's the left wing tying themselves in knots, trying to debunk them.
That Senator Warren used her Native American heritage, which she'd been told about all her life, that she used it to get into Harvard Law School. She taught at Harvard Law School. She was going to get in there. And she didn't, by the way, use it there. It was merely listed in her Harvard professorial bio. That's it. She's already at Harvard, right? Success.
Oh, I see. She didn't say she was Native American, although she's been told that she was Native American her whole life. Here's a general rule for politics and life. When people come up with two contradicting excuses for the same thing, it's usually because they're lying. Either Senator Warren was told that she was Native American her whole life, and that's why she believed it and filled out the form and submitted to the cookbook, or she didn't claim to be Native American in her job application at Harvard. Saying she was told that her whole life is an excuse for why she filled out the form a certain way, but you're saying that she didn't fill out the form that way, even though she was totally told her whole life that she was Native American. It makes absolutely no sense, and there's no reason to use two different excuses for the same problem. And finally, we're going to lightly talk about Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann has been fired from every fucking job that he's ever had because people do not like Keith Olbermann. There's a ton of behind-the-scenes information about Olbermann and how he's so difficult to work with because he has a huge ego and he's a huge asshole. You guys can look into that if you want. But Keith Olbermann got fired from GQ, but he announced that he's resigning after this whole Pocahontas nightmare.
I'm confident now, even more so than I have been throughout the last year, that this nightmare presidency of Donald John Trump will end prematurely and end soon. And I am thus also confident that this is the correct moment to end this series of commentary.
Because this is going to bring down Trump, and that's what he's been advocating for, even though that makes absolutely no sense. Why would you claim a victory in the name of the resistance, say Donald Trump is finished as president, hang a mission accomplished banner, and then quit before Donald Trump resigns? Obviously, there's something going on behind the scenes. Keith Olbermann's a big personality, so maybe he negotiated like a non-disclosure agreement when he signed on with GQ, because this makes no sense. I didn't even want to include this in my video, but Keith Olbermann decided to make it a part of the story by quitting, supposedly because of this. I think he got fired. Anyway, that's all I really have for you guys today. For those of you who don't know, I was actually on a stream on No Bullshit's channel talking about the Justice League, talking about Punisher. We did a little Amos Lee. It was just a fun hangout where we talked movies and TV, and we didn't get too serious about any of the topics. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description below where you can watch it. Also, thank you guys so much for getting me to 2,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. It's awesome to have. I hope to continue growing this channel and growing the audience. And you guys are awesome and I really appreciate it. If you like this video, then please show me by leaving a like. You can subscribe for more content. Follow me on the social medias. Support me with real money on PayPal or Patreon. Links in the description. This has been Sean doing a story about craziness. Till next time.